Oh, okay, so now, speaking about Children's Day, a lot has been going on social media. I'm not talking politics. No. Okay, so now these particular books have been in circulation for a while now, right? So someone, I actually saw a comment by someone talking about how these books should not be exposed to kids. What kind of books? So now, the kind of books I'm talking about are books that explicitly describe the reproduction process.
Or how a child is born.
How a child is born. So, funny enough, one of the books is actually titled How a Baby is Born. How a Baby is made, right? Then the other one is How My Body Works. So it literally talks explicitly about, okay, fine, like the female body, the male body, and how reproduction...
It describes the anatomy of that process.
Exactly.
Are these Nigerian books?
So now, no, they're not Nigerian books. So now, I think the issue here, or what most people were actually talking about, and all of that, why this is actually an issue, is the fact that the books actually was tagged age 4 to 8. Right? So people are like, oh, okay, is this... And this was, like, there were images, right, of everything happening up to childbirth, right? And all of that. So now, what do you guys think? Should this be out there? Should this not be out there? Is it too early at 4? When does sex education start?
I will say one thing. Oh, you want to go first? Go ahead.
I wanted to say... when we eventually all get married and, you know, join hands with a partner, and then your parents now start asking for children, did they teach you? Did they tell you what to do? How did you learn? How did you get it?
I wanted to make a reference to culture. Now, you said that these books are not Nigerian books. Maybe where they are published and where they are in circulation, they are actually, the culture supports that you can start talking to your kids about this. Well, I don't know. Age 4 to 8 is a bit too early for me personally. However, I have a personal experience from just yesterday. My daughter's sitting on the dining table. I and my wife are on the couch. We're sitting down doing our business and everything. And then my daughter says to me, "Daddy, you have to keep sleeping with mommy now." And I'm like, "Why would you say that?" She's like, "Because I want a baby brother."
Did you ask her where she learned that?
From school.
Okay.
Now, the description they were given in school was Daddy and Mommy sleep together and they have a baby brother or sister. And that's what she wants. It's her biggest dream right now. And, you know, so in Nigeria here, I can't say that we have those kinds of descriptive, anatomical, you know, what do you call it?
Books.
Published book material. However, in our culture, like you noted, when did your parents tell you about sex?
When did they teach you? Never. And I think that's a big gap. That's a space that needs to be filled. And the fact that we, as adults, find it hard to mention some words, female anatomy parts, we can't even say them in front of our children, is a problem, because, God forbid, they come across someone who decides to, God forbid, defile them or abuse them in any way. They don't even know how to describe what happened to them.
Yes.
Which is why many schools have now come together to say, you know what, we are going to add this to our curriculum. So that children can actually explain what it is that actually happened to them.
Okay, fine, but at what age? Mike, you're quiet.
Yeah, because I feel it's too early. There should be protection.
At what age? Yes.
To a large extent. The society, if you're telling me the society has failed in a way, if you're talking about abusers, that doesn't mean that we should expose them to things. It's too. Do you understand? Life is all about age and stages. That is too young, because they are Muslims. Kids are inquisitive. Even if somebody doesn't, they will now want to try out those things they've read. They will.
They will explore.
Even without the education, they do try it out.
You said, I don't know who said something. I think it was Olamide, my producer, who mentioned that before he allows his son or daughter to see a cartoon, he sees everything. And you have to be careful, everything. Don't slip off, because suddenly they'll put something inside it. It's the same, because why? They see Power Rangers, and you see them as kids, they want to form Power Rangers. Somebody's jumping on top of somebody and saying, "Hey, Blue Ranger, T." So a 4-year-old open a book and say, "Oh," and from what I saw, it was too descriptive.
And
they see that
let me bring it home for you.
So they don't need an abuser. My point is that because you're trying to solve a problem, you create a bigger one. So let society look at it this way. Let us ensure that the children are protected. If we have strict measures against abusers, very strict ones, you cannot, punitive measures, very strong ones. Let's protect the kids to the time when we think that it's okay for them. That's what I'm saying.
How this happened in my household. My daughter was 5 at the time, and she saw the cartoon Storks. I don't know if you guys have seen.
Yes,
very pleasant
the baby
about how
delivered
babies
by
from heaven.
bird.
Exactly. But did you guys wait until the end when the babies were being delivered to the parents? And my daughter asked me a question after the babies were delivered to multiracial parents, to dynamic parents, let me put it like so. She says, okay, that's not a daddy and a mummy.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, I didn't even see that initially.
Exactly, which is why it needs to be clear. In the books, it says a man and a woman, right? A husband and a wife.
Yeah.
It says a family, right? So now, being able to actually talk to your kids one-on-one and say, this is what happens, you need to find a way to do it yourself.
Of course, there's no doubt about that.
You have to do it yourself.
But
At what age? Exactly, I think that's the issue.
I started this process from age 5. I started from age 5. Why? Because there were too many instances of them coming home and, you know, talking about how they told the boys to stay away from the girls. Why are they telling them? Yes, in school, there's a boys' toilet and a girls' toilet. But in my house, there's only one toilet. And when visitors come in, both the men and the women use the same toilet. So why is it different in school? Those questions come up. And if you can't answer them,
even where we are, we don't have all the answers. You cannot expect to give them all the answers at that age. You don't have all the answers about life. I tell somebody, whenever somebody wants to tell you, you ask a question, and somebody wants to say they have a solution for everything, it's not possible. My point is that they would have some questions. Keep them on that edge, and what I'm saying, until the point where they can handle it.
I will say
like
this.
Adam and Eve, they were
can't have all the answers
men and women. They found the way.
You have questions.
Our parents, cross-board here, our parents did us a disservice when they did not exactly.
Did you learn it?
I learned.
Don't you have a kid now?
Your parents cannot.
I will find out.
They can't tell you everything.
In conclusion, this is it for me. Your kids are very expressive and most of all very curious. The time will come when you will have to, and when they ask, you have to find a way to tell them. It's better you tell them than they find out from any book or any other party or any other person or even in school. Tell them first because they trust you most.
Yeah. And if you don't have all the information you need, go online and learn about it first.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, let us know what you think on social media. What time do you think is too soon for this kind of information to be passed down to kids, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
Right about now.
Happy Children's Day.